What's up, guys? It's Lord Bother here with another video, and The Witcher 4 is apparently now in full production over at CD Projekt Red. This comes to us from PC Gamer. The Witcher 4 is finally in full production. Ahead of us lies the main and most intense stage of development. Quote, I am pleased to announce that several weeks ago, Polaris, meaning The Witcher 4, that's their little development code name for it, moved into full-scale production. CD Projekt Chief Financial Officer Piotr, I'm not even going to try to say that last name, said. Other projects mentioned by the financial report that was put out by them included Project Orion, which is the sequel to Cyberpunk 2077, which it has to be a home run when it comes out. That thing cannot have anything wrong with it pretty much, or it's just going to be absolutely blasted out of the water given how bad Cyberpunk 2077's launch was. They also have Sirius, which is the Witcher spin-off being developed by the Molasses Flood, which I don't even know what that all means. I guess it's a different subsector of their company. Also, I don't really know what Witcher spin-off means. I'm a bit scared about that. And Hadar, which was announced in 2022 as a third entirely distinct IP created from scratch, which now remains a mystery. Well, whatever it is, I hope that Hadar is something a little bit smaller in scale. Cyberpunk and Witcher are massive, massive endeavors. They are the AAA of AAA games, and to try to do a third one within one company seems like an impossibility to try to do and actually get right. A lot of people would argue they couldn't even get the second one right with Cyberpunk because of it being such a broken, buggy mess when it released and overpromising and under-delivering on a lot of content. Speaking of the pre-production phase, he said, during this pre-production phase, we have been developing key aspects of the game, including the storyline, main mechanics, and design, amongst other elements, and then tested how they work together on a playable segment. Seems like a smart thing to do, to just go through, the outline of what the game should be, feel, and do. Maybe not just promise pretty much anything and everything like they did Cyberpunk. So hey, maybe this thing's got a chance there. They're also quoted as saying, ahead of us lies the main, most intense stage of development, which is the production phase. We'll now scale the solutions we have to develop and validate thus far across the entire game. There's still no sign of a release target for The Witcher 4 at this point, which isn't terribly surprising given the drawn-out schmozzle of Cyberpunk 2077. And yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 is kind of the gorilla in the room here. Everybody knows how terrible of a launch that thing had. Everybody knows how that game promised the moon and back and failed to deliver on a lot that was promised and rumored. And CD Projekt Red did very little to temper expectations about the game and instead hyped it a lot. And to this day are hyping it a lot, to the point where it's almost kind of toxic positivity around Cyberpunk 2077 and not acknowledging the fact that it was kind of a dud and felt less like a true RPG and more like kind of just a cyberpunk shooter, which, don't get me wrong, was fun and I did enjoy most of the time, but in many elements let me down continuously, including the storyline, which, is kind of the main focus of a Western RPG, of course. And the letdown was amplified when you take into account that this came from the same people that made Witcher 3, arguably one of the greatest RPGs, maybe one of the greatest video games of all time. So when we go from that to the bungle that was Cyberpunk 2077, and now they want to go back to Witcher, when they openly state that The Witcher 4 isn't going to be about Geralt, but it is going to be about a Witcher, and there's all this talk of being focused more on Ciri and all that, people start to get very nervous about the potentiality of another Witcher game. Because honestly, Witcher 3 ended really well. Specifically, the Blood and Wine DLC puts a very good ribbon on the ending of the series and is a great place to just leave the game alone. It's a great jumping off point. They stuck the landing in a way that people that enjoy Western RPGs like I do really wanted games like Mass Effect to do. So going back to that series gives us the same kind of feeling, I think, as the potentiality of Witcher 4 being Witcher Andromeda. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, I appreciate you watching all of it. We'll talk to you again later.